What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. I appreciate you checking out this video. Guys, today I'm going to talk about Michigan and Penn State football game that happened last night. I had a little bit of a bout of insomnia last night, so I'm only going on about 4 hours of sleep. I didn't get to bed till 4 a.m. Kept tossing and turning and looking at the clock. The last time I looked at the clock, it said 4 o'clock, 4 in the morning. So, but I want to talk about just real shortly. I'm going to go through some stats here, and then I'm going to talk about why I'm making this video, more or less. Michigan, one word to describe the Michigan game last night, to me, it's an ass whooping. It's not trying to sugarcoat it. It's an ass whooping. We looked lethargic against Penn State. We seem to not have any answers to anything they ever did. I don't know what the coaching staff was thinking. A lot like the Michigan State game. I really don't understand what kind of game plan they put together. Just an overall ass whooping today. Our only real good look was the second quarter, where we almost tied the football game if what's-his-face would have kicked the field goal and not had the pressure of being in Beaver Stadium. But that's not really the big reason I'm ranting today. Well, it's not really going to be a rant video. It's just kind of some thoughts and whatnot, and is an overall Michigan fan base. Penn State had 502 yards. Barkley, the running back, he's the real deal. That's why just what he did last night is the reason why Penn State football is doing so well and why he's a part of the Heisman race. He's just that good. McSorley, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I probably didn't write it down correctly. He was on all day today. He picked apart the Michigan defense, like I said, for 502 offensive yards. He had some nice throws. He scrambled. Michigan has always had issues with a scrambling quarterback. Doesn't matter how far back in history you go. Michigan has always had issues with a scrambling quarterback. O'Corn was 16 of 28 for 166 yards. He had -3 rushing yards because he had more sack yards than he did rushing yards. He had 46 rushing yards and he had 49 sack yards. So it's going to show as a negative in the rule book, or in the stat book. But my biggest thing, guys, and Michigan at times all throughout the game, they had kind of flashes of a good play, but they more or less really couldn't get anything going. The offensive line still, it's young. I'm going to say we're dealing with a young team here. The offensive line is still having issues with protection. The running backs aren't really doing it. The wide receivers had a hard time today. I will say that. But in those kind of games, you have to step up. But again, we're working with a young team here, so you can't really kind of just lump it all on the football players. I mean, they have to get some experience, and probably this was one of the learning experiences for this team. They're extremely young. So I'm not really going to rant on the football team all that bad. We're going to go into Rutgers next week. Rutgers is Rutgers. I don't see that team getting any better in at least the next few years. So right now, it's probably going to be a team where it's Michigan's probably going to come out ahead. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Maybe Rutgers might come into play and get thrown upset up there. But it looks like a lot of it very well could be a 4 or 5 loss season for Michigan today, because we play Rutgers, and then we go to Minnesota, and then we play Maryland, and then Wisconsin, and then Ohio State. That's our last 5 games. I could only see us winning maybe 3. I can't see us winning it against Wisconsin, and I definitely can't see us winning against Ohio State with the way we're playing right now. And it all comes back to Jim Harbaugh. Let's put it this way. We know Jim Harbaugh is a good coach. He's demonstrated that he's a good coach in the NFL and with Stanford, but he really couldn't get over the hump at Stanford. And I'm kind of seeing a bunch of that same kind of mindset and same kind of, how do I want to say this? The same kind of maybe demeanor that I'm seeing on the sidelines. Michigan is paying him, it's going to be this year is $9 million to be Michigan's head coach. Only one other person is getting paid more. You guys can probably guess who that is. So I'm not going to say it. Definitely not getting our money's worth. We must stop as a Michigan fan base, stop worshiping Jim Harbaugh and think he can do nothing wrong. We must start criticizing him, and it's got to start today. What happened up in Happy Valley was uncalled for. Looked like Michigan was not prepared to play. I mean, I understand we have a young fan base, a young team, but it's uncalled for to throw up 42 points on us when our defense, our young defense, looks to be pretty promising. I really don't know what the coaching staff thought about, and they really couldn't adjust either. They couldn't adjust to what Penn State was doing. They just kept doing it. Jim Harbaugh's got to figure out what's kind of going on with his team. So, I'm just kind of starting to get, I'm not saying I'm jumping off the bandwagon yet, because really, being a Michigan fan, at least to me, you're in with the team thick and thin. But at some point, we got to start criticizing Jim Harbaugh, and it's got to start now. I don't see really any passion from him like we did back last year when Michigan and Ohio State played all through that season. He had a high level of passion. This year, I don't see it. I see a lethargic Harbaugh. I see at some points even an uninterested Harbaugh at times, and along with the coaching staff. This season could go bad quick if Harbaugh doesn't. I'm going to be kind of critical here. If Harbaugh doesn't get his shit together and put a team out there that can. Now, I'm not saying it's supposed to win every time and win every game and be at the top of the national championship level. I'm not that type of fan. I'm a type of fan to be like, look, I'm pretty black and white, more or less. If you're not performing, I'm going to start criticizing you. And I don't think Jim Harbaugh is worth his $9 million contract this year. It's just not. I'm not seeing any player development or anything like that. Hell, I'm almost to the point of wondering if Jim Harbaugh even thinks the Michigan State rivalry is even worth his time. I mean, yeah, everyone looks at Ohio State as the game for Michigan, but we're not that team this year. We haven't been that team in, well, only the time we were was last year, but any other time of the year or any other season, we're not there yet. We have to start at the Michigan State rivalry. And I don't think Jim Harbaugh takes that seriously. And plus, I think this season is he's kind of like, okay, we lost. We're going to go on to the next week and hopefully get better. No, we have to get better as a football team, or else we're going to get laughed at and not be taken seriously, which I'm almost wondering if we are being taken seriously. So, but I don't mean that to be a rant, but guys, we cannot worship Jim Harbaugh anymore. He's got to get the job done at $9 million, and the criticism should start. I'm not saying it needs to be to the level of rant criticism, but really we got to start kind of shaking our heads and scratching our heads and thinking, why are we paying this man $9 million to do a job that Brady Hoke could do, or Rich Rodriguez could have done, which we ran out of Ann Arbor. Which I thought, and this is just my own personal opinion on this, I'm only going to bring this up just once. I thought Rich Rod kind of needed the players in there to do his job. That's just me. I know other Michigan fans are going to have a different opinion. So, but guys, it's got to start today to start criticizing Jim Harbaugh and to start demanding more of this team better and demanding of the coaches. So, guys, let me know what you guys think today. I know I didn't really talk about the game all that much. There really wasn't much to say today. But if we don't right the ship, this could be a disastrous season for me, and my 9-3 pick is going to go washed right out the door. So, and I don't think we're going to make it, at least by what I'm saying. My prediction is going to be just a prediction. And oh well. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and also do a like, subscribe as well, would you? Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys again soon. Go Michigan, even though I'm a little skeptical. Deuces.